guys how to play Long Live Taylor's version on the guitar. I can't believe I've been teaching Taylor Swift songs for over 15 years and I'm just now getting to Long Live, but I thought I would make it special. I'm wearing some friendship bracelets that I got from the Eras tour. I'm wearing my Long Live shirt. So with that being said, here is a quick overview of everything I'll be covering in this tutorial, including that fun little solo line at the beginning. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. All right guys, so you only need to know 4 different chord shapes to play through the entire song, and we're gonna start with our G major, which looks like this and sounds like this. And by the way, if you don't know how to read these chord charts you're seeing on screen, I do cover how to do that in my free beginner course right here on YouTube, so make sure to check that out right here. The next chord is our E minor 7. We also have our C add 9. And then the last chord is our D major. All right, and something to remember is that between our G and our E minor 7 and our C add 9, your ring and pinky finger are never moving, so just remember to keep those down as you make those chord transitions. And then for your D chord, in order to not play these bottom strings, I'd recommend taking your thumb and just kind of curling it over the neck of your guitar. So you're just gently touching that E string to mute it, and that'll help you when you're doing the strumming to not play these strings. But those are the only 4 chords you need to know to play through the song. So go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to really memorize these chord shapes, as well as practice transitioning back and forth between them, because it'll make learning the rest of the song so much easier. And the great thing about this song is almost all of it goes from G to C add 9 to E minor 7 to D. So as long as you can transition those chords in that order, you should be good for this song. However, if transitioning your chord shapes fast enough is something you're currently struggling with, I do have my entire Practice With Me playlist right here on YouTube, where we go through this skill in real time together. So I'll make sure to link that in the corner for you. But once you have those chord transitions down, then we can talk about the strumming that I would recommend for this song. All right guys, so like I always say, if you are a beginner at guitar or you're somebody who struggles with singing while playing guitar at the same time, the first thing I would suggest is to bring up this song and go ahead and play through the whole thing with a single down strum as you sing through the song, and take this time to really get used to what word you're singing when those chords are changing. So here's a quick example of what that would look like for the chorus. Long live the walls we crashed through, how the kingdom might shine just for me and you. All right, so that's just a quick example, but you would essentially want to do that for the entire song and just really make sure you know where those chords are changing, and that'll make it a lot easier to sing with a full strumming pattern later on. And this is actually something you do right now if you want to check out my Patreon page. I do have this entire guide available to download and print out, so I'll make sure to leave that link in the description box for you guys. But once you get used to that single down strum, we can kind of build on it to talk about more of a full strumming pattern that you can use for this song. All right guys, so the strumming pattern I would recommend for this song, as you can see, is just all down strums, and we're gonna play it in an 8th note count. So it's gonna sound like this. We have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, 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 down. Okay, so all down strums, fairly easy. But what we're gonna do is we're going to accent some of these beats. So I'm gonna turn some of these arrows green, and we're just gonna accent those. And what I mean by that is we're going to strum them with a little bit of extra emphasis than the surrounding beats, okay? So we would have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and what this is gonna do is it's gonna provide a little bit of some like rhythm while we're playing the guitar. It'll make it sound a lot less muddy altogether. So definitely add in those accents if you can. And again, all I'm doing is I'm gonna strum a little bit with a wider strum with my right hand with my pick in it. And then the ones that are not accent, we're just gonna kind of concentrate on the lower bass strings. So if we put our G chord on, we would go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So notice on the green arrows how I'm strumming all 6 strings and a big wide strum with my right hand, and on the regular arrows I'm kind of concentrating more on just the bottom strings. Okay, just these top 3, okay? So it'd be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right? If you speed it up a little, you'll hear how it kind of provides a little bit more rhythm, almost like a drum line. We've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's the strumming rhythm, and essentially what you want to do is you're going to play this entire pattern through 2 times per chord throughout almost the entire song. So let's go ahead and look at verse 1 as an example. We're starting here on our G chord, and we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and twice. Then you switch to your next chord, C add 9, same thing, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and E minor 7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and to D. So hopefully you can hear how adding those accents in kind of drives the song forward a little bit more. So if you can accent those beats, I would definitely recommend giving it a try. Now the other technique you can add in that Taylor does a lot on stage is we're going to add a palm mute. So this can be a little bit more advanced, but definitely something that if you practice, you'll definitely get used to it. But you essentially want to take the side of your pick hand, your right hand, and you want to put that right over where the bridge of your guitar is, and you want to gently touch those strings so that when you strum, it has a little bit more of a muted, dampened sound. So here's a regular ringing strum, and here's a dampened strum, okay? So if you can kind of keep your palm there a little bit as you do this pattern, you'll hear how it sounds a little more punchy. So we've got G, twice, C, twice. See how on the accented beats, my hand's doing a little bit wider of a strum, but for all of the non-accented beats, I'm kind of keeping my palm on the strings so they kind of have that muted sound, okay? So if you need help with palm muting, I do have a whole video dedicated to how to do that, so I'll make sure to link that below for you as well. But once you put the palm mute in, it'll make the different parts of the song really stand out. So what I would recommend doing is to palm mute all of the verses. And then on the choruses, we're gonna take out the palm mute, but keep the accents in. All right? So you should be trying to accent those beats throughout the entire song, and then we're gonna add that palm mute for the verses. So let's go ahead and go through a few parts of the song so you can see what that sounds like. Here's verse 1, we're doing accents and palm mutes. I said, remember this moment in the back of my mind, the time we stood with our shaking hands, the crowds in stands went wild. All right, and then when you get to the chorus, it's the same rhythm, same thing, except we're taking the palm mute out. Long live the walls we crashed through, how the kingdom might shine just for me and you. I was screaming, long live all the magic we made, and bring on all the pretenders. One day we will be remembered. So there on the last C in the chorus, I like to just do a single down strum and then go back into the regular strumming pattern. The only other place that's a little bit different is going to be the bridge. So here I would recommend playing it just like the chorus without the palm mute. Hold on to spinning around, confetti falls to the ground, make these memories break our fall. And then you would go back into it, okay? But basically this strumming rhythm is what I would recommend for the entire song. I think it sounds really great with the whole song if you play it like that. And that is what my recommendation would be for strumming. All right guys, so again, go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to practice that strumming rhythm. Even though on paper it looks pretty easy with all the down strums, it can take a little bit of practice to add those accents in and practice that palm muting. So definitely pause and take as much time as you need to get that down. But once you get that down, a cool little thing that you can do is add that solo line that you you hear at the beginning of the song. It's really fun to play that in my opinion, so I definitely wanted to show you guys how we could do that as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the solo tab. All right guys, so before we begin, if you don't know how to read guitar tabs, I do have a video here on YouTube that's kind of fun. It goes through it, it's kind of interactive. So I'll make sure to link that right here. Definitely watch that first so you understand what you're seeing on screen here. But basically what I have here is the tab for the beginning, okay? So we're gonna start here on our B string and you're just gonna pick that open. And then as it's ringing, we're gonna take our pointer finger and hammer it on to the first fret. All right, so I'm only picking it once with my right hand, but you're hearing 2 notes because of that hammer on. So after you do that, we're gonna take our ring finger and go to the 3rd fret of that B string. So we have, okay. Right here, our ring finger is already in position, so you're just gonna go 1 string over to your high E string. And as you pick that, this is gonna be what's called a slide. So you're gonna take your ring finger, slide it up to that 5th fret while it's ringing out. If you don't have calluses built up on your fingertips, this can hurt a little bit, so definitely just make sure you have some calluses built up first. And also if you're struggling with like kind of calculating where to end up, make sure to use the dots on the top of your guitar fretboard if you have them. Most guitars have them and it'll label the 5th, 7th, 9th, and 12th frets. So I like to use those as a little guide. So far we have hammer on, next door, slide. Then from here, we're gonna take our pointer finger and go down to this 3rd fret on the high E string. Okay, and then after that, just next door to the open B. Okay, and on my right hand, these are all down picks, okay? From here, you're gonna slide again to that 8th fret. So when you have your ring finger here, it's already on the 5th. You wanna pick it and slide up to the 8th. And then use your middle finger for that fret right behind it. Okay, so we're going slide like that. So definitely takes a little bit of precision of like aiming your fingers whenever you're doing these slides. So like I said, again, use those dots on your guitar. If you don't have them, you're just gonna have to get some muscle memory developed, okay? We're starting again with our open B string, hammer on, and then 3rd fret. Again, we're doing that next door slide. And then here's where it's gonna change. Instead of picking the open B string, you're gonna take your ring finger and do the 3rd fret of the G string. Okay, so we have. And then from here, again, you're taking your ring finger, going back to that high E string, and we're gonna slide from the 5th to the 8th fret. And then your middle finger goes right behind it. Okay, so those measures are like this. We've got and now we're almost done. The next measure is gonna look pretty similar. We're starting with our hammer on again, then our slide. So from here, you're gonna take your first finger on that 3rd fret and move it down 1 fret to the 2nd. So it's almost like a slide, except we're picking it twice with our hand. So that measure goes. Okay, and that'll put you in position for the last little measure here. You're gonna take your middle finger and put that on the B string, 1 fret above where your first finger is, so on the 3rd fret. And as that's ringing, you're going to take your middle finger and slide to the 5th fret, okay? So those last 2 measures are. All right, and that's the whole little solo tab. So let's go ahead and put the whole thing together. We've got. that's the whole thing. If you wanted, you could play that at the beginning before you come in with your strumming, or if you're playing with a friend, one of you guys could keep the rhythm going with the strumming while the other person does the solo. Either way, whatever you want to do, I think the solo is super fun to play in there. It is a little bit more of an advanced skill if you're new to hammer-ons and slides and stuff, so definitely give yourself lots of time to practice this if you're new to it, but that is how you could play the solo for this song. All right guys, so again, go ahead and pause the video if you want to attempt this solo. I do think it's a lot of fun to play. It's a good challenge for those of you who have been playing guitar for a while, so definitely pause on this screen and make sure to practice it as much as you need to. But once you get back, we can put together everything we've learned in this video to play through the song. 1, 2, ready, go. Want to have fun playing through the rest of this song with me? Yeah! Then make sure to check out my Patreon page where you can unlock access to this as well as all my other Swiftie sing-along guitar tutorials. I've covered so many of her songs from all of her albums, so if you are a fan of Taylor Swift and love playing her songs on the guitar, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I'll make sure to leave that link in the description box down below. If you enjoyed learning this song with me, then you should definitely check out this video. Not only does it have a super similar vibe and feel, but it's just as fun and easy to play. So I'll see you over there. Bye!